Alright, so um, today I decided to do a video Bible study. I've been doing my own Bible studies on my own, and so, but this time I decided to do it on video. So I'm currently on Joshua, the book of Joshua, chapters 19, 20, and 21. Now, in these three chapters that I will be going over, it talks about the well, the book of Joshua is kind of like when the Israelites go into the land that God promised them through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So in here, it's talking about how the land was divided between the Israelites, the different tribes, and so the yeah, it starts off talking about Simon's inheritance, which is yeah. So Simon, the tribe of Simon, their inheritance came out of Judah's, the tribe of Judah. So basically, Judah. Simon got Simon's inheritance came out of the tribe of Judah's inheritance because Judah was given so much that it was too much, basically. So Simon got some of Judah's inheritance. Then it goes on to talk about the land of Zebulun, the land that was given to Zebulun as an inheritance, and the land of Issachar, I don't know how to pronounce that, but and the land of Asher, the land that was given to the tribe of Asher, and the land of Naphtali and Dan. Let's see, what else? Yeah, and then it goes on to Joshua's inheritance, which, yeah, so, I don't know. Yeah, it just tells you where what part of the land of Israel Joshua inheritance came out of. So like it says here, according to the Timnath Sahara in the mountains of Ephraim, and he built the city and dwelt in it. So Joshua, that's his inheritance. And there's and when also I realized while I was reading this, they like to. It's like they use all the old buildings that were already there, and then they use the borders as place marks to describe where's where. And I don't know why they wouldn't just like group all these little different places and then just call it one place. I guess it'd probably be because I don't know, probably for studying purpose, like what we're doing now. And then I also got into the beginning of chapter 20. It talks about the cities of refuge. So basically, the cities of refuge are the cities which are appointed that God appointed for when if somebody, so say somebody accidentally kills their neighbor, but they didn't hate him or nothing. It was just total accident, and then the Avenger of Blood is what they describe him. tries to go after that guy and kill him for killing that guy on accident. That guy who killed him can go flee to these cities of refuge and plead their case to the guys there, and they'll let him in, and then he can stay there and dwell there peacefully until the high priest of those days dies, and then after that he can come back to his own home and continue living his old life, pretty much. So, yeah, it talks about what cities God appointed, obviously. And then, lastly, chapter 21, the cities of Levites. So, Levites, they weren't given any actual inheritance or any land. What they were given instead were, in fact, so all these other tribes, all the actual other tribes that were given inheritance, they got all these pieces of land, and so what the Levites got were, they got a little piece of their land that were given to them by all the other tribes. So they got they're borrowing their brothers' rooms, kind of. And then, so they got cities out of all the other. They got little portions, kind of around, out of all the other tribes' lands, and then they were also given not just the cities, but also the common lands that came with those cities for their livestock. And what a common land is basically a land owned, but the people who don't own it still have a right to use it, for chopping down trees or for letting your cows or stuff eat the grass and whatnot. And you can, so it's basically open land, but it's owned. You can use it, but it's not necessarily yours, kind of. So, but they were also given those, along with the cities, so that way their food and stuff could eat. So they weren't completely left out. And then, so to wrap up these 3 chapters, it ends with it ends with a little paragraph saying that basically, now that all of the Israel has been given to Israel, that the Lord completed all of his promises that he gave to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All the all the inheritances and blessings that he promised he would give Israel, he gave to him, and that was that. That was pretty cool. I kind of wish I was Jewish. That'd be awesome. And then, and also while I was reading this, I had go back page, when it was listing off the lands of Zebulun and the land of Issachar and Naphtali, I didn't at first I didn't recognize these names. I was like, that doesn't sound right. I recognized Dan. I knew that was a tribe, but I didn't necessarily recognize Zebulun or Naphtali. I recognized Asher and Judah. I didn't recognize Simon. I didn't realize that a tribe was called Simon. So I went through, we're back to Genesis. I think it was Genesis chapter 29. Go back quite a bit. Genesis chapter 29. Yeah. And it tells you all the lists of all of the Israelites. And if you go back another chapter, it lists off 2 other tribes never forgotten. Those tribes were Manasseh and Ephraim, but they weren't necessarily included in Jacob's blessing. Yeah. Something like that. Anyways, but the lists of the... So I went back and I was reading and I was like, okay, so those guys are tribes of Israel. And all the tribes are the tribe of Reuben, Simon, Levi, Judah, Zebulun, Issachar, Dan, Gad, Asher, Naphtali, Joseph, and Benjamin. So after reading that kind of refreshed my memory, and I recognized their names again. I was like, oh, that makes more sense. So, and then Manasseh and Ephraim. Yeah, I think those guys were... Those are blessed by Jacob, but separately, it looks like. I don't know. You have to go back and read. Yeah. So, Genesis chapter 58 and... Or no, not 58. 48 and 49 kind of explain all that, of the different tribes and where they came from, and the sons and stuff, and all that deal, and the blessings that were given to them. Also, something caught my attention while looking this specific thing up, and it was that Zebulun, the land of Zebulun, it says the blessing that was given to the land of Zebulun, it was Genesis 49 verse 13, and it says, Zebulun shall dwell by the haven of the sea. He shall become a haven for ships, and his border shall adjoin Sidon. And that caught my attention, because if you go back to to where they are, you go to Zebulun, and it says, east of sunrise on the border. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily say that it's by the water, but because I can go back and read what it says in Genesis, I can assume that the towns and the land that was given to the Zebulun is near the water. Now, I'm going to have to go back and check that. Maybe just in the back of my little maps. I do have maps. Let's check it out. So, let's see here. That's Arabia. Let's see. Judah, Simon, Manasseh, Zebulun. Yeah. Alright, so it says back here, it kind of gives an example, or like, kind of plots out where everything is. And Zebulun is right along a little river, or like a little river runs through Zebulun, and it's right along the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. It's not like right on the coast, but it's, if you have to go across Asher to get to the water, but it's still really close to the water, which makes sense, because if their blessing was the sea, then they got to be close to the water. So yeah, I also picked that up. That's caught my attention. That is how the blessings that were given to them way back then pertain to how they were located in the land of Israel. That's what's known by today. Yeah. Thank you for joining me on my very first Bible study. and I hope to see you next time. See ya.